What's up, everybody? Jordan Stewart here from Vover. Thanks so much for tapping into the Vover original show. Just a reminder that if you want to drop your opinions about the episode or respond to the host and guests with your voice, go and download the Vover app wherever you get your apps. Vover, voice over everything. Enjoyed the show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Grind with your hosts, Slimzilla and Yeti.
What's happening, world? Welcome to the show. Good morning, Yeti. How you doing?
Happy Monday, brother.
It's fantasy football week. It's about to launch.
A lot of drafts, a lot of beers being drank this week, Sitting around doing their drafts. I don't know what's more important for people, getting to hang with their buddies or the draft, but it's all good.
It's always a draft. I'm still not being invited to a draft party yet, so there's a couple of days for me to get invited to one.
Oh yeah, you got to get some of your soccer teammates over there to do one together.
They ain't got a clue, man.
Well, there you go. You're perfect then.
I'll try and get a Vover one going.
Yeah, there you go.
So, because it is fantasy football week, it just seems right to talk about fantasy football and a couple of positions or kind of strategies that you yourself or parties that you've been into, kind of what the main topic is. Is it quarterbacks, running backs, like the most points and that kind of stuff? So just gives us a little insight of fantasy football from a professional NFL player.
All right. Well, it's fun, right? It's the fun strategy. It's fans being able to be GMs for themselves and draft guys. And there's some things that I look at when thinking about drafting guys is, how are they going to use them? It depends on the coordinator, maybe, with what kind of plays this guy likes to run. Maybe how old the quarterback on the team is. There's a lot of different things to think about when you're drafting a guy. So today we were gonna do quarterbacks and a couple of running backs. Talk about the difference, what makes them good. What makes you wanna draft a guy. And first is Lamar Jackson. Got a chance to watch this guy a lot last year. He's an amazing player, rising star in the league. He's becoming the face of the league quickly. And in fantasy, you want guys that bring points from different ways, right?
Yeah, versatility.
And Lamar is a guy that does that because he's going to get some great passing yards. I mean, he's done a good job with the pass game. And then when it gets down towards the end zone, they are always looking to give him some sort of option where he can run the ball in and use his legs, right? We talked about these coordinators doing a good job of adapting to who they have as a quarterback. And Lamar is the guy that does that, right? He's a guy that can get you points in the air and on the ground. So love him for those reasons. And that's, certainly a reason to look at drafting him high. And then on the other hand, you got Aaron Rodgers.
The sharpshooter.
The dude that's been doing it forever, he's probably going to get you maybe a couple of running touchdowns. He's always got some little, crazy play where he scrambles in and, does his little dance, maybe a little belt action. And the reasons why I love him are he's the guy, right? He's the guy for them. He's going to get you a lot of yards. He's going to be throwing long touchdowns over the top to guys. And a lot of times you see it with Green Bay. They love the back shoulder fades. Him and Devontae have amazing chemistry with that back shoulder throw. So when it gets down to the end zone, I would look between – so it's kind of a comparison between their running backs and their quarterback here, right? Where if you're looking at some of the running backs, you're like, well, he's going to lose a lot of touchdowns when he gets into the red zone because they're going to throw that back shoulder fade. And so right there is a good comparison for where I probably would stay away from Green Bay running backs for the most part and stick with, their receivers and Aaron because that's what they're doing when they get in the red zone.
With like say Lamar Jackson, is there a risk of when you're picking a guy like that up that he could get injured more because of he likes to use his legs, and obviously as soon as he comes out of the pocket, there's risk of injury.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a GM, I've always said as a true GM of a football team, I am a guy that sort of likes the pocket quarterbacks a little bit better, and that's the main reason why. Because there's of course you can hit in the pocket, you can get hit anytime, but Lamar is making these moves where, man, you're kind of holding your breath about 80 times a game where the guy's taking off, and it's amazing and it looks great, but I don't know if I could even watch the game if I was, Baltimore's GM. Like it would be, your hair would be turning gray every week.
That's a good job I ain't got no hair then.
Yeah, you'd be all right. But it's definitely a concern. But we've seen Aaron get hurt before too, so it can happen to anybody. We all know there's 100% chance of getting hurt in the NFL. So, but yeah, that's definitely a reason I would probably go Aaron over Lamar if I was personally picking him.
So then let's go into running backs. And there's a lot of good running backs out there, but the ones we wanted to focus on is Christian McCaffery and Derrick Henry. Obviously, Derrick Henry is like a bulldozer, just in terrain mode, just like taking up everybody.
That dude, he makes defenders just look absolutely silly right now, bro. Like the way he tosses some of these cornerbacks, they run that like inside, basically wedge zone.
Yeah.
And he cuts it to the outside on purpose because he knows he's going to get one-on-one with a cornerback, and he is going to make that dude look silly. So, whew,
so when these cornerbacks are trying to tackle him, why are they trying to tackle him high? Why do you like in rugby? Why are you not trying to just go for the legs?
They should be, but they can't in a lot of times. Like you watch what Derrick Henry does; it's really smart. They run this little play where they plow forward. Everybody goes pretty much forward. It's like wedge blocking, right?
Yeah.
So in that play, that cornerback has to come down and be the edge of the defense. And he has to sort of suck down, right? So what Derrick Henry does is he gets the ball and immediately goes to the sideline.
Yeah.
Watch some of these highlights. He immediately goes to the sideline and he changes the angle for these corners. So now instead of coming outside in, which they want to do on a tackle, they end up coming inside out, and that's when he gets them with that straight arm and throws them high.
The straight arm of the law.
Bro, like, if there's anything I'm learning to do is not get hit by that dude's straight arm if I'm a corner. And just to go through it real quick, you see the good guys, the good corners and safeties that really know how to tackle. As soon as Derrick Henry's coming at them, you'll see these guys swipe in front of them and sometimes miss, and you're like, what are they doing? Well, they're going to knock down that arm and then jump on his back.
Yeah.
That's how you need to tackle this guy. You got to kind of tackle him high because, I mean, for one, you got to keep that inside out leverage, or outside in, I mean. That can make you go low. That way you got leverage on him, you can go low. But if you come inside out and you get stuck in that position, you got to knock that straight arm and get him by the shoulder somehow. So, and hang on for dear life.
Yes, I can just ride the ball, bro.
Right. So, but back to the fantasy comparison with Derrick Henry and McCaffrey. A couple of things come to mind when I think of both of them. Derrick Henry, like I said, is going to get a lot of those goal line plays. They're going to pound it in with him, jumping over or whatever he does. Going to get a lot of carries down there. He can break them, so he gets plenty of long ones too. Seems to always get long runs. It's amazing how fast he is for how big he is. But I will say about him, Julio's there now. Yep. They got Brown out there. That dude they both catch a lot of balls. They're going to demand the ball a little bit more. Julio may take a few more of those red zone would-be handoffs to Derrick Henry, and instead now they're throwing it up to Julio. I don't know where that'll go. So, there's a few things to consider when thinking about Derrick Henry. Over to McCaffrey, I think there's a million reasons why to get him, right? Everything is kind of trending his way.
Especially in a new quarterback as well.
Right. New quarterback, young quarterback, a quarterback that, didn't fare so well in New York. So, they really want to do a good job of protecting him. And what a better way to protect him than get it to the running back, right?
Yep. Plus he can catch as well, right? They use him on a lot of different plays.
Right, exactly. And depending on your fantasy team or your fantasy league, if you are in a league where you get credit for catches, McCaffrey's the guy that he's your guy, right? He's going to catch the ball, he's going to run the ball, he's touching the ball a lot during the game, and they love to run trick plays with him that a lot of times result in a touchdown or special plays with him, and trying to protect this young guy. I think as long as Christian McCaffrey stays healthy,
and that's a concern, right? That's especially because the volume of what they normally, how much the ball they give him,
right,
is always going to be at risk of getting a big injury or a serious injury.
I agree, and I think the Carolina Panthers could definitely use like a big thumper to add into the mix to take a little bit of the load off McCaffrey. So hopefully they develop a guy like that in their backfield this year that doesn't take too many runs away from McCaffrey for fantasy reasons, but maybe gives him a break so he can make it through the season. So that's our quarterbacks and running backs.
Yes, and wide receivers and tight ends. Wide receivers, which position I think I should be playing if I ever did get to the NFL.
Really? Okay.
That would have been the position I would have wanted to play. I probably would have ended up, I don't know, being a kicker or something like that.
Hey, you'd probably be a good little slot guy, quick.
Yeah, I'll take that, man. I'll take the slot.
It's like going up to get a header. You got a body position and make them catches at the slot. You can do that.
Just getting hit on the blind side was the problem.
Yeah, you got guys like you chasing me, bro.
Exactly. That means no. Cool. Okay, then. Well, I'm gonna start doing my research and hopefully get an invite for a fancy team sooner rather than later.
All right, man. See you tomorrow.
Cool. See you tomorrow, bro. Peace.
Vover.